This is big for me, right? Listen to me. This is big for me. I basically got my Super Bowls almost back to back weeks. Sean Strickland fights this weekend. Charles Oliveira fights in 2 or 3 weekends or something. These are my Super Bowls. My two favorite fighters. My life will be drastically different if they both win or if they both lose. Let's talk about it though. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. Big fight. Tons of implications in the division. If Max Holloway wins, he could likely get another fight against Ilia Topuria. If he doesn't, I don't know what's next for him. Similar situation, but a little bit different that for Charles Oliveira with his last loss being to Ilia. Well, I mean, I guess both their last losses were. Anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about this fight. This is a close fight. I really do think it is. I think the striking is a lot closer than people want to mention. Man, my mic's all the way over here. I hope you can hear me. I think this fight is a lot closer than people want to mention on the striking aspect. Max Holloway most certainly has the advantage when it comes to striking speed. It isn't close. Really don't think it is. But I think Charles Oliveira hits harder. I think his striking is more versatile. I think fighting in the clinch will be absolutely massive in this fight. I think if he can get his hands on Max Holloway, it's going to be a long night for Max. I really do think that if Charles Oliveira, of course, can get him to the ground, that's going to be the ideal situation for Charles to be in. I hope he does push to bring the fight into the grappling realm. I'm concerned that he won't. I'm concerned that he's going to try to strike with Max. And not that I think that would necessarily go wrong for him. I just think there's going to be a bigger gap in Charles's favor on the ground than there is going to be striking. But, when we're talking purely about striking, like I said, I think Max is much quicker, a much cleaner, technical striker. I think Max is arguably the most technical boxer in the division. I think he's more technical than Ilia Topuria, though Ilia Topuria might be more effective with his power. But I think Max will struggle a lot in this fight if Charles gets this fight into kind of a Muay Thai fight, right? Max is going to want to box. He's going to want to box and box and box. If Charles Oliveira can land kicks, land leg kicks, land body kicks, get into the clinch, really work Holloway top to bottom, not throw naked strikes like he did against Ilia Topuria, and that's why he got finished against Ilia Topuria. People want to give Ilia Topuria a lot of credit for finishing Charles Oliveira, and he does deserve the credit. Hold on a second. I've got Steam messages popping up. What am I doing here? This is not professional. Anyways, people want to give Ilia Topuria a lot of credit for finishing Charles Oliveira, and he deserves all that credit. However, Charles Oliveira gave him that finish. He gave him to him on a silver platter. He's stepping in with the right hand against Ilia Topuria, the hardest hitting fighter and arguably one of the hardest hitting fighters in the UFC. Definitely the hardest hitting in the division. He can't step in naked with a right hand like that against Max Holloway either. He's giving me the same result, except for he might not go to sleep on the feet. He might get finished by ground strikes. Charles Oliveira has to set things up with kicks, throw in combination, counter Max Holloway, get it in the clinch. If Charles Oliveira, I genuinely do believe this with all my heart, if he gets this fight to the ground within the first round, I think he'll submit Max Holloway. And, Max Holloway, phenomenal fighter, good grappling defense. Charles Oliveira, there's levels to this game when it comes to the grappling. Charles Oliveira, as we know, is the highest level. It isn't close. It really isn't. We saw what he's able to do Gamrot. We saw he was almost able to finish Arman Tsarukyan twice. He's finished Justin Poirier. He's finished Justin Gaethje. All these fighters he submitted. And you're going to tell me that, Dustin gets choked out by Max Holloway or Charles Oliveira and Max can't? That's insane. If Charles Oliveira gets to this fight within the first 2 rounds, I can guarantee you with almost 100% confidence that Charles Oliveira will submit him. I will say that with almost 100% certainty. We just have to stay sound on the feet, not throw naked strikes. We have to set things up, be absolutely perfectly focused. I want to see a lot of teeps. I want to see a lot of leg kicks. I want to see a lot of clinch work. We cannot box with Max Holloway. Listen, I really do like Max Holloway. He's one of my top 10 favorite fighters, I'd say. Really likable guy, and I'm sorry that we have to beat him because that's what's gonna happen. But Charles Oliveira, I will say, people want to count him out and say he's chinny, he's chinny, he's chinny. We've only ever gone to sleep once in our career. And that was against Ilia Topuria. But so does everyone. So did Max. You know what I mean? So did Max. Yes, he lasted 3 rounds or whatever instead of 1. But Max wasn't going in the fire like we were. We got Ilia Topuria. We were on the ground with him. Ilia did not want to grapple with us. I'm saying us now. Ilia did not want to grapple. He ran away from that. He got us into a crucifix. And then, instantly got thrown into a dangerous situation with the heel hook. Yeah, like I said, I think if Max Holloway finds himself up in grappling with Charles Oliveira, I don't think it's gonna end well with him. My prediction for this fight, I don't want to give 100%, a prediction yet. I think we're still a bit away from the fight. I still need to think about it. I still need to watch some of Max Holloway fights back. I've watched tons of Charles Oliveira fights. I probably watch like 3 a week. I need to go back and look at some of Max Holloway fights who I can kind of match up in a realm with Charles Oliveira. I'm trying to see. We can look right now if there's any fights that can even kind of resemble a Charles Oliveira, and I don't really think there is. Not so much. But come on. Yeah. I just don't think this is gonna be a good fight. I think this is objectively a very bad matchup for Max Holloway. My prediction, and this is a tentative prediction, is that Charles Oliveira will knock Max Holloway down, or at least really hurt him on the feet. I think he'll catch Max Holloway. Dustin Poirier caught it, in a retirement fight. Dustin Poirier caught Max Holloway and hurt him bad, and then almost he jumped a Gilly on him, and it wasn't that close, but he had it for a little, like almost a second. Charles Oliveira, obviously, way better grappling, way better submissions, a nasty guillotine. My prediction is going to be that Charles Oliveira is going to crack Max Holloway, hurt him, and then submit him with a guillotine. That's going to be my tentative prediction right now. Obviously, like I said, we're far away from this fight still, quite a ways away. We're like 3 weeks out. But I'm absolutely stoked for this fight. This fight is fantastic. This card overall is pretty damn good. We're still waiting for a co-main event, but I'm sure that'll come soon. Anyways, I think this will be releasing on like Thursday or Friday. Let me know what you guys think on this fight. Yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and have a good one.